Hey, fellow dreamers, and welcome back to another episode of the Live Life Unapologetically podcast. I am your coach, Shannon K, and today we're diving head first into the powerful world of mindful creation. We'll unpack what it means to build your dreams with intention and purpose, break down those pesky barriers that stand in your way, and of course, serve up some juicy, actionable steps to help you make it all happen. So let's jump right in to unlocking your authentic power, aligning with purpose, and crafting your destiny with mindful creation. Let's kick things off by just getting down to the heart of the matter. What is mindful creation? Well, it's the art of manifesting your dreams and aspirations with a dash of intention and a sprinkle of purpose. It's about setting goals that align to your values, and then it's all about going out there and making it happen unapologetically. But if you're one of those folks who isn't quite sure what their purpose is, don't worry, you're not alone. The truth is, your purpose isn't some elusive, mystical creature hiding in the shadows. It's often right under your nose, waiting for you to uncover it. Start by asking yourself, what gets me out of bed in the morning? What activities bring me joy and fulfillment? Your purpose often emerges from your passions and interests. If you love helping people, perhaps your purpose is to make a positive impact in the lives of others, whether it's through your career or volunteering. The key here is to tap into your passion. And then as you move towards your goals, you'll discover your purpose and it will become more evident. It's like assembling a puzzle. The pieces start to fit together as you take action and explore your passions. As you discover your purpose, when you start moving towards your goals, you're going to be more aware of how those goals align to your values. Your values are deeply held beliefs about what's important in life, things that are important to you, not what other people say should be important to you. And there is a distinct difference. So let's say one of your core values is adventure. That could translate into setting a goal to travel to a new country every year. By doing so, you're not just checking off destinations from a bucket list, you're living in alignment with your values. I have a great friend, and he is such an adventurous person. He purposely schedules trips to destinations that speak to his curiosity, and he goes all the time. I swear, every other weekend on his social media feed, there is like a new adventure. And okay, maybe it's not every weekend, but it is really that frequently. He holds himself very much into his purpose and what he values. He has a full-time demanding job, but he does not let that interfere with his purpose and passion in this world. And he rocks the travel industry so beautifully. I want to note that for your purpose, it doesn't have to be linear or stay in a straight line as if once you discover it, that's it, you're done, and you just follow that path forever. As you go through life, your purpose may take on many forms. For instance, I am a teacher. I value learning. I want to learn everything. I want to inspire others to learn. For 15 years, I taught in public schools. While I was a teacher, I weaved in being a coach, which is an extension of teaching. And then I transitioned from traditional teaching to teaching you and coaching clients. Many times in this world, we get stuck because we feel like once we found our purpose, so for me, like teaching and going into the schools and teaching, that is how we are going to express ourselves for the rest of our lives. And that is not the case. Your purpose, which is your gift, will grow, change, and evolve with you as you are growing, changing, and evolving. When I left the classroom, all my people were like, girl, what are you going to do if you're not a teacher? Like, that doesn't even seem right. Or they're like, are you okay? I know teaching was your identity. I appreciated their love and concern. The misconception was that a job was my identity, when in fact, my gift and purpose made way for me to do a job. I told him I'm still me. I'm still a teacher, and I always will be. And I had that one friend who did say it. She said, girl, you are a teacher, just in a different way. And she was absolutely right. So if you're walking in your purpose and you're using that gift in a job setting, and then for whatever reason, that job stops becoming fulfilling to you, It doesn't mean you aren't walking in your purpose or that you got your purpose wrong. It just means you might need to switch it up and do something else with your gifts. In today's society, we place so much of our identities in job titles or career paths instead of the gifts that lie within. Society conditions you to tie your value and worth and purpose to a job. Your purpose is more meaningful than that. Mindful creation happens when you take your purpose and manifest it in a way that feels good to you. Many times we don't think we have the ability to create meaningfully in our lives or to create things on purpose in our lives that feel good to us. We set limiting beliefs or self destructive habits that get in the way. And we're going to break through those limitations and roadblocks today to get you on your way to mindfully creating fear of failure. Fear, fear, fear. I bring up fear a lot. And honestly, my loves, that's because it is a reoccurring theme when I'm working with my clients, and it's a pretty big obstacle to tackle all at once. However, the more you chip away at it, the more you can use it for your benefit instead of it keeping you paralyzed. So, when it comes to diving into mindful creation, there's this limiting belief with fear that whispers to you all the reasons why you could possibly fail. After all, if you're creating something tied to your purpose, chances are it hasn't been done before, or you're taking a concept and evolving it into your own spicy thing. So, of course, fear is going to tell you all the reasons how it could probably not work out, and it's going to be buzzing around in your ear like an annoying ass mosquito. One of my coaches, so shout out to Casey, always says that action brings clarity. And I think it's the greatest lesson she ever taught me. You see, when I went to mindfully create the life I wanted now and how I wanted to walk in my purpose, I didn't have it all figured out. And most of the time, I was just throwing darts, hoping one would hit the bull. Like I had absolutely no form whatsoever when I was tossing these darts at this board. The more I leaned into the creation process, though, the more things became clear. It started to take form. It took a couple renditions and a whole lot of trial and error and starting over and over, armed with more knowledge than I had the first time I tried. Of course, looking back, I wouldn't have started over and over, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And at first, I thought of all of these renditions as big ass failures, which is what fear had me believing. As a matter of fact, I would call my bestie, and I did this more than once after not hitting the mark. And I was like, no, I quit. I'm over this. Of course, she would lovingly yet sternly tell me, girl, you're not quitting. You're irritating me because every time you're right there, you say you're going to stop. You're getting there. So stop doing this crap every time. So after a few times, I was like, okay, she's right. I was looking at my attempts as failures instead of learning and clarity opportunities. So I decided to really lean into what my coach said about action brings clarity, and also remember that my bestie was not going to be hearing this no more because she was holding my feet to the fire. So I took a big leap of mindset and decided I would no longer function in fear of failure because I wasn't failing. I was simply learning. Once I reframed my thinking to learning, fear wasn't an issue anymore. Plus, we know around here that fear is just an indicator that you're onto something big, right? All right. So, another roadblock that we often encounter is procrastination. You know the drill. Putting things off until tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day. But here's the kicker: tomorrow never comes because it's always today. It's time for you to kick the procrastination habit to the curb. Even if you don't complete the entire task, pick one thing that you will complete each day to move you forward. Give yourself a solid deadline, share it with somebody, like for real accountability. Not your friend that's going to coddle you and give you a pass and be like, oh, girl, I know you can't work out because your life is so busy. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay, not a big deal, and tells you all the reasons why you can't do something. We all have that friend, and they do it out of love and being empathetic and sympathetic, but that's not the accountability you're looking for when you're going into mindful creation. Having accountability is one of the best tools that you can use to counteract procrastination. Accountability works for everyone. I am a coach, and this is part of what I do, but I'm not exempt from the same principles just because I function in this role. I'm working on a huge passion project right now, one that's been spinning in my head for a few years. Yes, I said years that I needed to embark on it, but I just kept putting it off for all the reasons, I was making up to put it off and procrastinate. So I happened to go to a conference. I was inspired and I was like, you know what? I am hiring the coach that is going to be so hardcore with me in the most loving way, but she's not going to listen to my procrastination excuses. And she's going to make sure that my ass stays in pursuit of this mindful creation that I am trying to develop. She is an expert in the area this project is about, and she is the accountability queen. She is not going to let you make excuses. So I was like, duh, that's an easy decision to make. Let me get her on board here to kick myself into gear. Of all the ways you can beat procrastination, having someone that loves you enough to hold you accountable, to not let you quit, to not let you make excuses, to not let you put it off, to not allow you to extend your deadline just because, and helps you stay true to your mindful creation is the best way to go. Procrastination is the enemy of progress. So set a timetable, grab an accountability partner, and get to work. One of the biggest roadblocks I see people encountering today when trying to achieve goals is to try to follow someone else's path or conform to the status quo. Remember, authenticity is your superpower. Listening to the wisdom of others, but never forget that your journey should be uniquely yours. Your path to success is not a one size fits all. Unique. And so while you can use advice that is practical or good, I think the issue arises in the pursuit of mindful creation is if you start to try to become less mindful and more conforming. You try to copy whatever guru you think is the bomb and do the things the way they did it. But the only problem is now you're not being authentic because you're trying to replicate somebody else. You're not meant to replicate someone else. You have your own unique vision and purpose. Regurgitating someone else isn't going to get you where you want to go. And it probably isn't going to feel very good in the process because you're going to be denying you. That is not the universe's plan for your life. You were given a unique vision, so don't try to match or chase someone else's mindful creation. Forge your own unique path. Conformity is the extinguisher of vision. Ride your own way. This need to chase other people's dreams or to replicate others is related to self-doubt. It often stems from years of conditioning to be perfect, to meet other standards, and by being overly critical of ourselves. I won't sit here and tell you that self doubt is easy to overcome. It is not. It is a process, but once again, as you start showing up in yourself and having faith in yourself, the vision of your mindful creation will start to encourage you and keep you on track to the action that will bring the clarity, and that self doubt will start to ease. You may have some moments that self doubt really comes knocking. Just be able to recognize it for what it is so that you can keep moving forward. Self awareness, I talk about that a lot as well. When we're self aware, we're less likely to fall into these roadblocks or into these barriers that keep us stuck. Self doubt has been conditioned into you your whole life. If you really look at the world today, you can see how it shows up everywhere because there's this resounding theme that you always have to prove yourself, go above and beyond, and have some picture perfect way of living to be considered worthy. If you're working on something and you're doubting yourself because you keep watching other people's highlight reels doing the type of thing that you want to do, then stop fucking scrolling. Stop exposing yourself to the comparison game. I have two different ways that you can look at this. One of these ways is my husband's way because he's really into football. And he always tells my son, don't get so caught up in highlight reels of these pro athletes because you might see that, 80-yard touchdown that was impossible, breaking all the tackles in the highlight. But you didn't see all the times that person got stopped in the backfield over and over and over again before that break down the field happened, right? Like they don't highlight that stuff. They highlight the big run. And so when you're on social media and you're scrolling, and that's why I say stop fucking scrolling, you're seeing the highlight reels of somebody else's life. Okay. You're not seeing all the attempts where they got, stuffed in the backfield and didn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage. You're not seeing that. You're seeing when whatever strategy they were using finally paid off and bam, they went down the field, touchdown, everything worked out. Okay. So remember, if you are scrolling, that's a highlight reel. You don't know the whole story. That is the comparison game, and the comparison game holds you in self-doubt. Think about horses at a race. They put on blinders, right? When they go to horse races, these horses have blinders on. And the reason these horses have blinders on is so they don't get distracted by the other horses during the race, right? If you put blinders on yourself and stop looking around about how other people are running their race, self-doubt would stop haunting you. Aren't those other people? Then self-doubt leads them right back to the roadblock of chasing someone else's dreams. If I'm working on something new and mindfully creating, I choose not to distract myself with what other people are doing in the same area. Okay, I'm working on something new and mindfully creating. I choose not to distract myself with what others are doing in the same area. I honor that I have a unique vision, and so do you. If you are divinely inspired to do something, I promise you that there's a group of people out there who need whatever it is you've been moved to create. I take sabbaticals from interacting with anything that would unduly influence me on my road to mindful creation when I'm in the midst of taking action. I want to make sure my actions are unique. Do I have a coach, accountability partner, or somebody of that nature? Yes. This is limited to one or two people, usually my cheerleader, which is my bestie, who just encourages me with all of her love. And then I hire someone to help bring my vision to life. When you are on the path of mindful creation and are in the midst of action, monitor your exposure to help keep self-doubt at bay, and so you don't circle back to chasing someone else's dreams. Trust the universe to guide you, follow your intuition, and don't worry about being perfect. Now that you understand some of the roadblocks, you can start crafting your mindful creation blueprint. I do want to review what we talked about. Remember, there's the fear of failure, but we don't do that around here, right? Failure is learning, and failure is also a key indicator that you are on the right track to getting where you need to go. Another limitation is procrastination. Get somebody who's going to kick you in the ass and say, I'm not going to let you stop. They're going to hold you accountable, and they're going to keep you going when you want to give up. Chasing someone else's dreams. You are not here to copy someone else. You're here for your own unique thing, and it is your authenticity and uniqueness that is going to make your mindful creation great in this world. And then conquering self-doubt. Remember, do not compare yourself. You don't have to fit into the status quo. Okay? You guys got it? I know you got it. I know you do, because you're my kick-ass warriors. So I know you have it. Okay. We've arrived at the most exciting part of the journey to me, which is crafting your mindful creation blueprint. And it's about turning your dreams into a reality, but we're going to put a fresh spin on it because I'm all about visualization. And more than visualization, I'm about stepping into and really feeling into a new experience. So you have to see it, feel it, embrace it, and experience whatever creation you want to bring forth into reality before it actually comes into reality. Now, the one caveat I have for this is you have to let go of the how. You may think it's stupid because, duh, you can't just hope something into existence. Yes, my dear, I know. We take inspired action in this camp. That is about drumming up the inspiration, okay? This is what we're doing. We're drumming up the inspiration. We're tapping into your desire, which is going to ignite your intuition, which will help you figure out the how as you go. What I am saying to you is I want you to first experience what you fully want without stopping yourself by trying to plug in the hows. Are you ready? Okay, Here we go. I'm going to paint this picture for you. Here we are. Instead of merely defining your dreams, I want you to start envisioning them by closing your eyes. Look at this mindful creation that you are seeking, your ideal future, and let your imagination run wild. Like when you were a kid, there is nothing, money's not an issue, your circumstances aren't an issue, there are no issues. It's just your imagination. You are in a perfect world, your utopia. Don't just imagine your destination. I want you to imagine your journey. I want you to imagine the people you meet, the experiences you have, and the growth you'll achieve. I want you to write it down and let that be your guiding light as you go through your mindful creation process and start to craft your mindful creation blueprint. And remember, you're not doing a step-by-step plan of how this happens. We're not there yet. You're just seeing it as already being done. When you paint this picture, I want you to do it as if it's just already done. Engage all 5 senses around this creation that's already finished. Okay? And write that. Have this vivid picture that you can keep going back to. I have a really big, vivid picture, and it came to me. I'm going to add it to my vision book about the project that I'm working on now. And I went on to Pinterest and all these things, and I started, collecting images of what it's going to be like at the end of this whole process on this very specific day at this very specific place and how I feel and who is there. I have no clue how any of those images are going to come to pass. I know it's going to cost money. Like, I don't have all of that worked out. That's not the purpose. So you see, the purpose is just to be there. It's not to figure out all of the budgets and semantics and the whatever else. No, that's not it. So before we start going step by step, I want you to just have the vision. And that's what I mean by letting go of the how. I don't know how it's going to look the way it looks on Pinterest yet. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue how I'm going to have the space that it's going to be in, but I know it's going to be in that space. I don't know how, but that's not the focus when you're creating your vivid picture of your mindful creation at its completion. Okay? So hopefully that kind of gives you like an idea of what I mean when I say let go of the how. So the first part of the blueprint is the visionary part. The next part of the blueprint is to redefine SMART goals as heartful intentions. I know SMART goals are very practical, but we are using our intuition. We are mindfully creating. We are walking in authenticity, and we are walking in purpose. So we're going to adjust those a little bit, and they're going to be heartfelt intentions. These are goals that are infused with passion and purpose and a deep desire to make them a reality. It's not just checking off things on a box. So make them specific, make them measurable, authentic, relatable, and time-bound. Your heartfelt intentions should resonate with your core being. The distinction between typical SMART goals and this message is that you are moving with inspired action and not forced effort. There's a whole podcast on that as well. As you move through heartfelt intentions, you may not always understand the how something is going to happen, but you don't stress yourself out so much trying to figure out the how that you never actually get started towards the goal. Getting stuck in the logistics can keep you trapped. The project I'm working on right now has quite a few unknowns for me. I know these things need to occur for my project to be successful. I have zero clue on how certain parts are going to play out, but I'm not going to hyper focus on that to the point that I quit making progress in the other areas that I am making progress on in my project. I am going to trust the process so that I don't procrastinate on the things I can do, and I won't let the fear of failure about the things that I don't know keep me from moving forward and going. I know that my authentic and heartbound actions will give way to the other answers that I need and the skills that I have to develop and unfold as I go through this journey, because I know that my vision will manifest because instead of doing forced effort, I'm doing inspired action through the act of heartful intentions. As you create those heartful intentions, break them down into smaller, manageable steps. Consistency is still key, y'all. Consistent, 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 but you have to add a dash of flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes detours lead to the most beautiful discoveries. Stay committed to your journey, but be open to adjusting your course when needed. This is especially true if you're not 100% certain on the how and you're trying to figure out the way it's going to come together, but you're trusting the process. Being flexible gives you the ability to learn some things along the way as you discover the how when you're going on your journey. So always, always, always check in with your purpose and values on your mindful creation blueprint. They're your compass guiding you through the twists and turns of this journey. If something doesn't align, adjust your course. But remember, the destination may evolve as you grow, and that is perfectly okay. The first thing I need you to do in your mindful creation blueprint, I need you to have this vivid picture, dream. You're creating this whole movie. You don't know how, like it just is. Okay. Then you're going to make different SMART goals because you're going to make them with heartful intentions. So they're specific, they're measurable, authentic, relatable, and time bound. You're going to break down those goals into little steps, but you're also going to savor the journey along the way, right? You're going to be consistent, but also flexible. You're not going to think you're failing if you're doing something new you've never done. You're just learning. And throughout this process, you're going to have check-ins that say, does this align with my purpose and my values? So now it's time for your one-on-one coaching. You're like, what? That wasn't my one-on-one coaching? No, that wasn't your one-on-one coaching. That's how to make a mindful creation blueprint. But now's your one-on-one coaching coming to you right here, right now. So grab your journals and pens and let's begin to unlock your authentic power, align with your purpose, and craft your destiny as a mindful creator. You need an action step because creating a mindful creation blueprint, that's a big thing, right? But I want you to choose one of your heartfelt intentions from your blueprint, the one that truly resonates with you and that you can act on this week. What's one small action you can take this week to start making progress toward your mindful creation? Make it something achievable within your current schedule and resources. Okay, so this is about taking action. This is me as your coach saying, let's be accountable to this blueprint, right? Because you can make the blueprint and you can just let it sit there. This is your accountability piece that you are going to choose one thing from that blueprint and you're going to get on it this week. Why did you choose that particular heartfelt intention and what makes it important to you? Who can you enlist to help hold you accountable to putting this intention into action? So my accountability piece is like, get off your butt and do it. And I'm going to tell you, go find somebody that you can share this commitment with, that you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. If you need to email me, email me. If you don't like, Shannon, I don't have nobody I want to share, just email me. I got you. Ask them to check in with you about your progress. So if you have your heartfelt intention and you're like, I don't know who to share this with, shoot me an email and then I will check in with you about your progress over the course of the week to see how is it going. I want you to ask yourself how achieving this heartfelt intention aligns with your value and purpose and reflect on how it connects with the core of who you are. If challenges arise when executing this action, how will you approach those challenges? How will you look at those challenges? What kind of mindset are you going to put towards them? Close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving this heartfelt intention as part of the journey to your mindful creation. How does it feel? What do you see, hear, and experience? My friends, we've unearthed the essence of mindful creation. It's about aligning your goals with your core values, finding your purpose along the way, and embracing authenticity with every step you take. Remember, you're not here to chase someone else's dream or to conform to the status quo. Your path is unique and authentic. Embrace your individuality and craft heartfelt intentions that resonate with your very soul. As you dive into your mindful creation blueprint, take it one step at a time. Savor the journey, don't rush to the destination, and remember to be kind to yourself. Thank you for joining me today on the Live Life Unapologetically podcast. If you found this episode valuable and you're ready to embark on your mindful creation journey, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share with your fellow dreamers. Keep chasing those dreams, savoring the journey, and always remember the world is yours for the taking. Until next time, stay fierce, stay fabulous, and as always, live life unapologetically. To keep your journey going strong, don't forget to subscribe and get the free Live Life Unapologetically monthly magazine designed to help you step into your power, crush imposter syndrome, and embrace your authenticity like a boss. Say goodbye to societal norms and hello to living life unapologetically. Each month, you get a power-packed issue that includes sassy insights, savage strategies, and spirited meditations. I'll link the magazine in the description of the podcast, or you can go to livelifeunapologetically.com/subscribe to begin your free subscription to the Live Life Unapologetically magazine.